I think it's time for more security. Oh, I still have hypothermia. Lovely.
Authorized personnel only. Your friend has to stay here.
Alright, sweetheart, I'll be back.
Authorized personnel only. Your friend has to stay here.
Yes, we heard you. Curiosity. No, it's too thick. Alright. I can't use my neural amp on him? Alright.
Well, what a pleasant surprise. When I heard you and Hadrian were headed for Londinian of all places, I presumed you must be onto something big. Did you find what you were looking for?
No games. Tell me why you committed the attacks, or I'll take this straight to the cabinet.
How could you? Isn't this interesting? You know, you've proven far more clever than I had anticipated. You want to hear the words, then? I did it. The Terrormorph attacks on Tau Ceti. New Atlantis. My doing. Years of coordination between my associate and I. Figuring out how to deploy the Lazarus plant's pollen outside of Londinian. Learning to synthesize it. Use it as a weapon. Now, being as clever as you are, I'm sure you have thoughts on why I might do such a thing.
It's obvious. You're angry about what the UC did to you. This is petty revenge, nothing more.
Oh, my revenge was far from petty, Captain. The attacks were a correction. When I discovered the plant, I did consider handing over what I'd found, but we were at war. And I couldn't risk information that dangerous falling into the wrong hands. So I ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport, fixing two problems at once. Halting the spread of the city's Terrormorph outbreak, and sealing away knowledge of the plant's potential.
You just said it took you years to use the plant outside Londinium. You killed them for nothing.
Simple to say now, but with the outbreak raging from a barely understood source, the moment demanded quick action. So I did what was required. I removed the dangerous variable from an already catastrophic war. But then, as the war ended, my trial, my execution, I made a decision. After all, I'd given everything for the colonies. My life as I knew it included. And what did I get in return? Was there any effort by the UC to protect my legacy? My daughter's legacy? terrorist when all we did was serve. So I kept what I'd learned and arranged the attacks to set things right again. My daughter, she becomes a hero. I become a trusted advisor, having found Kaiser, the research team, and cement my new position of influence when I hand them the name of the person responsible for the attack on New Atlantis. The dear departed Dr. Reginald Orlays, the associate who aided me all these years, and whom I always slated to take the fall. What luck he was stopped dead before he could hurt anyone else. His decades on the run brought to an end by another unlikely hero. You.
Oh, no, he killed himself. I tried to take him in alive. So you murdered UC citizens because of some slight against your honor. You are a sick man, Victus.
There are no heroes without a villain. I simply arranged the opportunity for us to overcome one and become the other. And we all benefited. It's why I had Orlays reprogram Kaiser. Had that old machine guide you to where I found the plant all those years ago. I went to great lengths to ensure your and Hadrian's success. And look at the results. I know for a fact the Cabinet's planning to honor both you and Hadrian once this is all done. Isn't that preferable to languishing away in obscurity? Running jobs on the tail end of nowhere for the Vanguard? With only the vague hopes of perhaps earning the right to buy a home in the well someday.
I already have the right to buy a home in the well. They'd be honoring me for cleaning up your messes.
You're being honored only because I arranged the situations where it could happen. Be grateful. And let's not forget the importance of our actual endgame. Eliminating the Terrormorphs. Securing knowledge of the Lazarus plant. What we've set in motion is going to protect thousands, maybe millions of lives. I'm simply requesting one more life be protected. Mine. I've already sent along the evidence of Orlays' role in the attacks to the Cabinet, leaving out my own involvement. All I ask is that you confirm as much to the Cabinet. Tell them that it was Orlays and Orlays alone. After all, I do still have a long list of threats to the UC. This needn't be the end of our good works together.
You know, I'm not sure what I'm going to tell the Cabinet.
Well, I do hope you'll keep the larger perspective in mind, Captain. We've done something great here. Let's not squander the opportunity to do more.
You could have just come to the Cabinet with all the information about the Terrormorphs and the Lazarus plant. But no, you had to set up a situation in where innocent people died so that your daughter could play the hero. Unbeknownst to her. I mean, I do generally believe that the ends justify the means, but... Just making your kid into a hero. And not even your kid, your clone. I really wish I could just go in there and put a laser in his head right now.
Authorized personnel only. Your friend has to stay here.
She did.
What's happening, darling?
Let's get moving, my love.
Sure, I'm right behind you. Perfect timing. We just got in. So on our end, good news. The microbe and the Asylees are both as effective against heat leeches as they are against Terrormorphs.
Means either plan should work for clearing those critters off our worlds.
Considering what the Lazarus plant is capable of, I don't think we can deal with those things fast enough. I already sent along info to the cabinet to get them up to speed. So what about your end? Did you find anything? Any leads on who might have committed the attacks?
It was Victus. I managed to get him to confess.
That seems unlikely, considering he's been dust for about 20 years.
I'm sure the captain just misspoke. Right?
No, he's alive. The UC had him this whole time. He orchestrated the attacks from his cell.
No, that's impossible. He's gone. My father is dead.
No, you see, you're a clone. You don't have a father. You have a donor. You had creators. When I suppose if someone adopted you and raised you, then you have a father. But you don't have a biological father. Look, I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner, but it's the truth.
That's quite the revelation.
Certainly putting it mildly.
Alive. Victus is alive? How did you find him?
Look, it's not important. What is important is we tell the cabinet what we found.
Not important? My father is alive.
No!
I need you to tell me right now how you found that information.
Fine. He actually contacted me. He's the reason we were able to find Kaiser.
Wait. You knew he was alive and didn't tell us?
Well, I'm sorry. I had my security clearance and you have yours. I couldn't. I was sworn to secrecy, but this now is too important.
You were sworn to... You swore. You were just doing your duty, weren't you? Yeah, I guess I, of all people, should know what a burden that can be. Doesn't
Exactly.
mean I'm not mad, but I guess you letting us know late is preferable to never. Now at least we can inform the cabinet and let them deal with him.
What do you think the cabinet will do to him?
I honestly don't know. If it were me, I'd make damn sure he never spoke to another human being again. But I may be a bit less than impartial. But for the wanton murder of civilians, I doubt anything's off the table.
Right, well, he can't be allowed to get away with this.
Exactly. The people he harmed deserve justice. But now I guess we've got our answer. Nothing left to do but put it all in front of the cabinet. Any last things we needed to discuss? This might be our last opportunity to talk things through before the cabinet weighs in on a decision regarding the Terrormorphs.
Which method of dealing with the Terrormorphs are you two leaning towards?
Microbe is going to make the cleanup a whole lot quicker. If we're concerned about this Lazarus plant getting deployed again, that's the way to go.
The cabinet can secure the Lazarus plant, and then we're not risking any surprises when it comes to dealing with a microbe.
You're being paranoid. You know the science. You know we can make this safe.
I do know the science. I also know math. And a 1 in a million chance of a mutation isn't 0. So I guess we're still in discussion. Probably best at this point to let the cabinet weigh in, see if they have a preference.
What kind of risks are there if we decide to bring back the Asylees?
Asylees aren't hostile to humans, but they are megafauna. If someone decides to pick a fight with one, it could get ugly. But they've already been spread far and wide once before when the UC was raising them as livestock, so the risk of introducing them to new worlds is minimal. Using them to clean up the Terrormorphs and leeches, though, it's not going to be nearly as expedient as the microbe would be. Given what we know now about the Lazarus plant, the speed of the job does matter. But going with the Asylees, we're at least dealing with known risks.
So both approaches to clearing our worlds are effective against heat leeches.
They are.
Microbe needed minimal adjustment to account for heat leech anatomy.
And the Asylees seem like they're even better at tracking leeches than morphs.
Hell of a sight to watch, though, when they catch them. Like an open airlock guzzling angry spaghetti.
Alright, nothing else on my end. Let's head in there.
Then here we go.
I honestly prefer the Asylees, but the microbe's probably more expedient.
Welcome back, all of you. I wish we were meeting under better circumstances. But according to Hadrian's report, and the second one I just received, it seems the Terrormorph attack on New Atlantis was no random occurrence, but a planned strike. Is what I'm reading here true?
That's correct, ma'am. It was a deliberate attack.
My God.
An attack? Using Terrormorphs? How is that possible?
You will all receive a full briefing once we're done here. So then, is what the second report claims correct? Did Reginald Orlays commit these attacks, Captain?
Orlays?
The report isn't the whole truth. Orlays helped, but Victus organized the attacks.
It's true, ma'am. I heard the recording myself. My father figured out how to use Terrormorphs as weapons.
He did what?
That's impossible. He doesn't have the kind of access to...
Clearly, he made his own access, Chief Sarkin. Madam President, I have been saying for years that not dealing with that man was gonna end in tragedy.
Enough! I hope everyone here understands that what has just been shared is a state secret of the highest order. This information does not leave this room. Now, that's quite the accusation you're leveling, considering Francois Sinon has not left containment for the better part of 2 decades. You have evidence to back this up?
It just transformed. A Terrormorph out of thin air. An invisible weapon. No planet would be safe.
Heavens help us. Is that actually him?
I'd know that voice anywhere. That's Francois.
He knew they could do this, and said nothing.
He's a sociopath. Plain and simple, ma'am.
Officer,
Oh, no, I think he's a
please collect that
psychopath,
recording.
actually.
Yes, ma'am. Begging your pardon, Captain.
We'll, of course, be launching a full investigation into how this could have happened. Though I have little doubt the Admiral will be quick to share all he knows on the subject once confronted with that recording. Chief Yassine, can you send one of your interrogators to have a little chat with the Admiral?
I'll issue the order immediately.
Good. Combined with everything else you all have uncovered. Well, I don't think the United Colonies can thank you enough. We failed the people of the colonies by not dealing with Victus sooner. I intend to rectify that mistake immediately.
Whatever the Cabinet thinks is the right course of action.
It's well past due. Now, with our villain unmasked, we can attend to the other matters at hand. With the threads you've brought together here, the Lazarus plant, the attacks, the heat leeches, the 3 of you have likely spared thousands of lives. But it now falls to the Cabinet to ensure this can never happen again. As such, the Cabinet will be securing the Lazarus plant on Londinian. All materials related to the plant will be classified to ensure no one else learns its true nature.
A sound decision, Madam President.
What sorts of measures will the UC be taking to protect the Lazarus plant?
Well, luckily the natural hostility of Londinian makes keeping out trespassers relatively easy. But we'll ensure its growth is contained, that access to the plant is only permitted via highly regulated clearances, and that our troop presence on Londinian is increased.
Agreed, that's the right call, ma'am.
I'm glad you think so. So then, to our final topic. The Cabinet has agreed to implement a plan that will deal with the Terrormorph, and now also Heat Leech presence on human worlds. In fact, we've already begun enacting measures to check all UC ports and settlements for undiscovered nests. But we all understand this is only a partial solution. The project we're embarking on will be a long and difficult one. So our first step must be deciding how exactly this all will be handled.
Madam President, this microbe is clearly too much of a risk. The Aseles are the safer approach.
To someone with limited knowledge of biology, perhaps? The technology behind the microbe is solved science, Madam President. It isn't dangerous. Using it to wipe out the Terrormorphs would be the quickest path to protecting humanity.
And fast results always lead to the best outcomes, don't they?
As you can see, there remains debate among the Cabinet. We were hoping your group might issue a recommendation. Major?
We've been having similar debates ourselves, but the Captain has yet to weigh in.
I see. Captain, I know this may not be your area of expertise, but we'd like to know your take on the matter.
Deploying the Aseles is the safest route, that's my vote.
I'm in full agreement.
Yes.
No need to be delving into unpredictable sciences.
Here's hoping they'll be kept on a short leash.
That, madam, is most certainly the plan.
Order, please. And Major Sinan? Dr. Walker, you'd find this acceptable?
We trust the Captain's judgment.
Then the matter is settled. We'll begin the process immediately. Today marks day one for the United Colonies Terrormorph Management Division, making you three the founding members of the TMD. As befits such a group, the Cabinet wanted to display its gratitude. Today, we will be adding 3 new Class 1 citizens to our ranks.
Class 1? For the 3 of us? Are you joking?
What he means to say is, thank you, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
I'm sorry, but this is the first time I've ever heard anything about different classes of citizens. What's a Class 1 citizen?
It's a status reserved only for those who've dedicated their lives to the United Colonies, or done great things for its cause. Class 1s enjoy an ample credit disbursement, an additional reduction on the cost of colonial goods. And I'm told the penthouse is rather impressive.
Well, thank you, Madam President.
You all have earned it. Now, there's much to be done. Major Sinan, Dr. Walker, I hope you two are willing to continue your efforts, spearheading the TMD's research on Mars.
We'd be honored, ma'am.
As for you, Captain, the Vanguard will be providing much of the on-the-ground support for the TMD. As a member of both the Vanguard and the TMD, I believe you'll have your pick of duties. Speak to your commander, Tuala, if I recall correctly. He should be able to provide you with assignments going forward, plus help you collect the benefits that come with being named Class 1. On behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our sincerest gratitude. This meeting is adjourned.
Any troubles you need to share?
Can I tell you something?
You can tell me anything.
Words can't express how much you mean to me.
Every time you say those things, it feels like I'm in heaven.
And how are you feeling about our marriage?
Marrying you was the single best decision I've made in my entire life.
Those words mean everything to me, Sarah.
If it keeps us close, then I'll gladly say those words every time you ask.
I just want to make sure that we're communicating.
Keep your nose clean. Last thing I want is to charge you for a DP in A and B, B and E, or heaven forbid in MS. But at least then we wouldn't have to worry about a VOP, am I right?
Sure. Oh. I was actually trying to go to the lift. Here we are. Nat station. I need to speak to Tuala.
Informed us of your new status. Congratulations on making Class 1.
Well, I've got to say, this is a first. I've never had a Class 1 citizen in my ranks before. Congratulations, Captain.
Thank you, Commander. It's an honor.
No need to thank me. You brought this on yourself. I've already gone ahead and processed your Class 1 benefits. All UC goods and services should now have a thanks for protecting the colonies discount. And the credits should be in your accounts now. But to get into your penthouse, you'll have to pay a visit to the Aphelion Realty office. They should be able to grant you access.
Penthouse, you say? That's incredibly generous.
Higher-ups wanted to make sure you know how much they appreciate what you've done. But with all that squared, it's time to get you a new assignment. There are your standard Vanguard missions, putting those pilot skills to use defending UC space. Or you could help the TMD
Pilot
cleaning up
skills.
Terrormorphs. Oh, and I got a request from Dr. Walker. Wanted your help collecting biological samples to keep an eye out for any, new alien threats on the horizon. Any of those missions call to you?
I'm ready to take on some Terrormorphs.
Any chance to bag some bugs, right?
Yes.
I can provide. Let me just check my logs. Okay, these coordinates should get you to your first target. There. These missions are straightforward. Proceed to the location, kill the critter before it can do any more harm. Just be smart out there. Don't want you getting banged up too bad on your first hunt. Super et Ultra, Captain.
Super et Ultra.
no joke. They know about the zealots worship a snake. But let me tell you, it ain't a snake. Some kind of celestial being. They call it the Great Serpent. Is it real? Hell if I know. But they think it is. And that makes them dangerous.
Jetpack damaged or something?
Don't know why you think I know how to use one. Wait, is Percival already on Mars? Alright, he is. Well, we've got other things to do. We're not going for that right away. Alright, let's go to the realty office. They said something about a penthouse, and I am intrigued.
Some kind of elite anti-terrormorph unit. About damn time.
Well, that's not helpful. I suppose we'll try residential.
Nice day for a picnic.
I love it here.
Last stop, Apollo.
My favorite. And we can afford it.
Mercury is much cheaper.
position. The urchins buying the entire...
There's something to be said for brand loyalty. I'd much rather have someone comfortable with their purchase than some mythical best possible buy.
Alright, let's see what you have for sale.
Only the finest collection of armaments in the settled systems.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sure you already know there's no one-size-fits-all solution for personal firearms.
Let's see what you have for sale again, please.
Please, take a look.
I didn't mean to end our transaction so soon.
Definitely better than the last interceptor.
But why did they replace the handle? I thought the access was...
You don't happen to know where the realty office is, do you?
Might just stick with something on tap.
What's the fun in that?
Remember the Crimson Surprise? It was almost pure platinum.
This is nice up here, but I didn't come looking for a view.
I need to cut back on the booze. Not 20 anymore.
I am just worn out on that mission. And having to keep a secret like that from Hadrian. That's where Reliant Medical is. I'm taking a look at this. Good to know there was a second page here that I'd missed the first time. Maybe there is down here as well. No, there isn't. Well, there's the distribution center. There's Outland. SSNN is over there. I'm sure Nadia would like to hear about some of this. Scalbank. in here. Is this it?
It's a buyer's market right now. Good time to make a move. Well, well, if it isn't the United Colony's newest Class 1 citizen. You've made quite a name for yourself in New Atlantis. In fact, the higher-ups want to thank you for your dedicated service by giving you one of the nicest pieces of real estate in the city. It's a premium penthouse at the top of Mercury Tower. Best location in New Atlantis, in my professional opinion. What do you say? It'll just take a second to get you registered as the owner.
Right then.
Great! You're in for a real treat. It's one of my favorite apartments in the city. Okay, you're all set. Your new home's located in Mercury Tower in the residential district. You'll love the place. It has a gorgeous floor plan and an unbeatable view of the city. Now that you're an owner, I'm sure I'll be seeing you around town.
Alright, Sarah, let's go see our new digs.
You okay? That was a hell of a jump.
I'll be alright, Sarah. Right.
Sorry to pull you aside like this, but I wanted to take a moment to congratulate you. Taking those steps to eradicate the Terrormorph threat is essential to the safety of every living thing in the settled systems. You should be proud.
Something had to be done. Those creatures were dangerous.
Yes, exactly. I'm glad you treated the situation with the urgency it deserved. I only wish that the United Colonies chose to exterminate the Terrormorphs with the experimental microbe, instead of choosing this ridiculous Asili solution. Apparently, their decision was based on your recommendation. That was a risky choice you've made.
Well, I believe the experimental microbe would have been an even greater risk. Experimental microbes have ways of turning into plagues.
I beg to differ with you. Deploying the Asili solution is going to take years, perhaps even decades. The microbe would have cut that time drastically.
I couldn't condone the release of an unproven microbe into our ecosystem.
Well, I'm disappointed that you didn't trust the science. Unfortunately, locking away the Lazarus plant instead of eliminating it adds to the risk. Anything that accelerates the Terrormorph life cycle should have been completely removed from the equation. Why take the chance?
Well, even if we don't agree on this matter, I appreciate your honesty.
Of course. I wouldn't have it any other way. I appreciate the fact that you've taken the time to listen to my opinion on the matter. I'm sorry if I've hurt you in any way. I wouldn't want anything like this to come between us.
Well, Sarah, if you have strong feelings about such things, maybe share them with me before decisions are being made. I can't read your mind. Yes, let me release a potentially dangerous microbe into the world. Yes, biological warfare. That's exactly how we should deal with things. Shall we send anthrax-laced letters to rival politicians while we're at it? You know what? I'm being petty. I'm going to stop. Alright, now where do I obtain furniture? The door here. Oh, this is the restroom. Aw. No tub. That's tragic. Okay, now you're just rubbing it in my face. Yes, you know how to use your jetpack. You didn't have to jump over our sink. Another restroom. Also without a tub. Visitor sinks. Why would they leave a soap dispenser on the complete opposite side of the room? Because the soap dispenser won't sit on the counter. Alright then. Okay. Interesting. Alright, well I guess this is intended to be an office or something. A utility closet. I haven't seen anything that looks like a bedroom, have you? I saw that one large room and that smaller room, but neither of them had closet space. Let's see what's in here. I guess this is just storage. Wow. Lara, come check out this view. We have another balcony. Look, there's the spaceport. I think that's the frontier down there. Interesting. I mean, furniture would be nice, but I don't know how to go about that. Sarah, you wouldn't know where to buy furniture, would you?
If something's on your mind, you can tell me.
How are you feeling about our marriage, sweetheart?
You aren't simply my partner for life. You're my soulmate. We were meant to be together.
Alright, good. I just wanted to make sure that everything was alright after that fight. And those words mean everything to me, Sarah.
If it keeps us close, then I'll gladly say those words every time you ask.
Another space I didn't see before. Tune in to the next episode of Starfield Interplanetary Diplomacy to see what's in store for our Class 1 citizen, Mr. Victor Gabriel.